someone plays a popular piece or something, a piece that's considered already public domain, then the...
Public domain's okay, because that falls outside of copyright.
But then when you copyright it, it would be copyrighting your performance, not the public domain piece, like a traditional classical piece, for example.
Yeah, so you can play traditional classical pieces that were written 200 years ago without violating anybody's copyright, because if there was a copyright, it has since expired.
But you would have copyright on the performance.
On your performance, so if you recorded that performance, nobody else could take that and replay it.
Okay.
Because you had a copyright for that. Because now, but they could go out and do their own performance of that same song, because the underlying song is not copyrighted.
Perfect, thanks.
This is true.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I feel like I need $50,000 just to get everything. So I can do everything I need to do just to keep myself protected before I can even put my stuff out there. I need to like be hiding out and, you know, sneaking around.
Hopefully
so,
not.
I'll pay you some money.
Hopefully not 50,000. You just, it's a very complex field, and there's copyright attorneys, there's trademark attorneys, and patent attorneys, and there's some crossover, and I'll do some copyright, and I'll do some trademark, but I do mostly patents, because that's my area of expertise. Other people will do primarily trademarks, but they'll do some copyright and some patents. It's a very complex field. What I'm trying to do here is just highlight some of the aspects that might come up for you as small business owners, things that you want to be aware of, so that if you come across a website and you say, oh, I really like the way they did that, I want that on my website, and you hit copy paste, think before you do that, because you might be violating somebody's copyright. Or if somebody did that to you, you can at least give them a call and say, hey, don't do that, or I'll have to go hire an attorney and sue you for copyright infringement. So just trying to give you guys an idea of some of the different IP aspects that are out there. Not trying to overwhelm anybody or make you go spend $50,000 to protect yourselves.
Well, and is there a way, though, to just have some real basic, like maybe you'll go over this, but basic guidelines for people that, I mean, because this does feel overwhelming to me right now, and it's not something I'm knowledgeable about, like almost like a quick start kind of thing.
Or is there a book that you would recommend? What's your favorite book?
I recommend for copyrights, go to the Copyright Office website, the Library of Congress. I think it's lsc.gov. And they have a lot of PDF circulars, they call them, and they describe all different types. They also have facts, frequently asked questions. Trademark Office website, uspto.gov, has similar facts, and uspto.gov also has similar facts if you just want general information. And then if you have a very specific question, I always recommend contacting an attorney, because every situation is unique and you can't just say, this is the rule for trademarks, and if you know that rule, then you're okay. Every exact situation is unique.
Are there like do you need to know when you're talking to an attorney, are there different types of attorneys, like state attorneys and federal attorneys, or does every patent attorney handle state and federal?
So it depends where you're registered. I'm registered in the state of Colorado. I'm registered with the U.S. Patent Office as a patent attorney, so I can practice Colorado law. If you ask me a question about Kansas law, I'm going to ask you to go talk to a Kansas attorney. If you ask me a question about trademark law, I can talk to you about federal trademark law and Colorado trademark law, but I can't talk to you about Kansas trademark law. So if you want to register in the state of Kansas, you're going to need to talk to an attorney in the state of Kansas.
50,000 may be low.
Right, I said 50. I think that's right.
Like I said, I'm just trying to cover broad points here, just so you guys are aware of these when you're out there running your business. And if you come across something, you say, I remember Mark talked to me about that, I better go call my attorney and ask him if what I'm doing is correct.
So how do you protect yourself? Like, a lot of small businesses, we're going to source out someone to create the website or whatever. And like you said, they sometimes do templates.
Yeah, you want to be really careful when you outsource work, because the copyright, the person who's developing it, unless they're an employee, if they're an independent contractor, they will own the copyright. They can assign that copyright to you, and you want to have an agreement up front saying that they will assign that to you. You want to work with business law or copyright attorney to help you put that agreement in place before you outsource any of your work. Make sure that you do own the rights to that.
Are you going to touch on Creative Commons?
No.
No.
You want me to overwhelm everybody more than they are already?
Just wondering.
and open source software and all of that stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna try and keep it simple. So a lot of businesses, they'll say to me when I talk to them about what are your copyrights, are you protecting your copyrights? They'll say, I'm not an artist, I don't have any copyrights. I don't sing songs, I don't paint pictures. I don't write books, I don't compose music. I don't have any copyrights, right? Wrong. Businesses have copyrights too. For example, the restaurant owner, his menu, the specific layout of his menu may be subject to copyright protection. In other words, somebody else opening another rib store down in Lakewood cannot just go photocopy his menu and use it as his own. He'd be violating the copyright. He can put similar items on there, maybe even the same items, and arrange them all differently. But if he's just photocopying it or basing it off of that menu, he's violating the copyright. Websites, almost every business today has a website. If they don't, they probably better, because a lot of consumers nowadays don't trust businesses that don't have a website. So make sure you have one, and if you do, the information that you put on there is probably copyrightable. Probably want to put a copyright notice on there. You can see my own copyright notice right here at the bottom of my presentation. They'll encircle C, and you just do the open brackets, type the letter C, close bracket, and Microsoft Word will automatically make that for you. Or you can just go to symbols and insert it. I started giving this presentation in 2005, shortly after I opened my law firm. I've modified it every year since, and so my copyright actually started in 2005, but it extends every year up until this year, because I modified it just this year. And then my business owns this copyright to my presentation.
And you
so
can
that's
do
my
that
copyright.
without doing federal income.
Right, I didn't register that. That's free.
I just want to reiterate, so if you're creating a website and using somebody else to do that website for you,
Make sure
and
that
they're
they have an
using a
agreement.
template,
Yeah,
you have to make sure they have the right to use that template.
you should.
So for example, if you just direct them to use a template that's in Microsoft Pro or whatever, then you're okay?
You need to read the terms of whoever is providing that template. A lot of them will say, we own the copyright to this, you can use it for these specific purposes without violating our copyright. Again, it's going to be fact specific.
So you
Microsoft
actually
could
have
their own.
to read through it before you click accept.
For all that software your business is buying, before you just click, I just want to get this installed. Stop and read the license, you'd be surprised what's in some of those.
Okay.
So how do you get copyright? Like I said, it's automatic when the work is fixed in a tangible medium of expression. So when I had this presentation in my head, it was not copyright. When I sat down in PowerPoint and put it together, it became copyright, so I put my copyright notice on there. Registration is not required. I did not register this because I don't care if somebody rips me off. If they do, I have my copyright. I may go after them, but I won't have all the protection of the federal copyright. Copyright notice is not required, but it's recommended, and it's absolutely free and so easy to do. I do it.
No, what is the notice? I'm sorry, I don't, notice.
Copyright notice, so if you go to a website and you look at it and you say, gee, is this public domain or is this copyrighted? You have a copyright notice on there, there's no question,
You
right?
need the symbol?
Yeah,
Like what
there's
you
mine.
have,
You
okay.
can do that. And if you did it personally outside of the business, you can put your name there instead. Put the year that you first created it, and then if you've made any modifications to it. So we've talked about trademarks that might be in any business portfolio. Copyrights, what else? We still need to talk about trade secrets. Again, businesses come to me and they say, I don't have trade secrets. All right, I might have trademarks. You convince me of that. I might have some copyright, but I definitely don't have trade secrets because I don't have any top secret information. I sell widgets. I don't have high-tech manufacturing equipment. I put widgets out there on my store shelf. Or I run a restaurant. There's nothing high-tech about that. I don't have any technical drawings. I don't know the formula for Coca-Cola. If I did, I wouldn't be sitting in the classroom listening to you today. Businesses do have trade secrets. Probably every business does. And the question I ask is, how do you stay ahead of your competition? Do you have customer lists? Those might be trade secret if you keep them secret. Do you work with preferred vendors? Do you know which vendor to go to get the stuff to make your recipes?